Sometimes in life, breaking the rules is the right thing to do. Robin Hood, Nelson Mandela, John McClane. Sometimes breaking the rules is the wrong thing to do. Billy Mitchell's entire career. But breaking the rules is exactly what Rare had in mind when they thought of the stop and swap feature in the Nintendo 64 title Banjo-Kazooie. For years, game manuals had told us not to take cartridges out while the power was still on. But this was the very foundation for the stop and swap function. The idea was that if you collected the very secret stop and swap eggs hidden around the game, you'd be able to transfer unlockables to future Rare N64 titles. How could you possibly transfer data between cartridges? Easy! While the game was running, you'd rip the cartridge out of the system and put a different one in within 10 seconds. The way this worked was the Nintendo 64 would retain data in its RD-RAM for up to 10 seconds after the system had been shut down. So, as long as you put the other game in within those 10 seconds, that RD-RAM data would still be present and the newly inserted cartridge would see the data left by Banjo-Kazooie. So, Rare released Banjo-Kazooie with a stop and swap feature inside it, and then got to work on Donkey Kong 64, which would be the first game to take advantage of said function. However, during Donkey Kong's development, Nintendo were not happy with the stop and swap feature, and asked Rare to remove it. This is something studio founder Chris Stamper revealed in a letter he received and published on Twitter many years later. To be fair to Nintendo, they were planning a revised version of the N64 chipset, which would no longer leave data in the RD-RAM after being powered down. So stop and swap would only have worked in the older console models. In the end, Banjo-Kazooie was left with a stop and swap feature in, but was totally useless as no further Nintendo 64 Rare games would ever support it. It's a shame there was no possible way of transferring information from one game to another. Oh wait, yes there was, the bloody memory card socket built into the sodding controller. Why on earth did Rare dream up such an elaborate cartridge swapping technique when they could have quite easily achieved the same result they wanted, but just using a memory card? Idiots!